Don't get it mistaken, I'm just trying to wake up my people.
I said I do this for the block, I do it for the streets. I'm rounding up my dogs, and I ain't talking leash. I'm doing this for y'all, I'm trying to wake my people. I'm giving you my all, hope you give it back to me. I said I do this for the block, I do it for the streets. The ones who doing the bid, I ain't talking auction lease. Never been a farmer, but I'm trying to sow some seeds. Praying they take root, and they don't turn into weeds. Hollering, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm doing this for my dogs, I'm doing it for the streets. The ones who's doing the bid, when time without the lease. Hollering, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Curse. All because we ain't serve them. Took the chains off the slaves, put it on their brain, made it even worse. Working harder for the master now cause his face green, Ninja Turtle. Bills coming in the circuit just cause D on TV still got barred up. No Xanax, tight stretch, spandex. Finger flipping in the road, hood left his neck, chest, and his back way. My people suffer for it like another, like we crashed up in a fishing net. And college filled with philosophies, theories, and ideologies. We don't know who to trust now. Can't even trust the police cause they'll pull up, shoot the victim, and let the criminal go free. I'm just trying to talk to the hood, man, cause my kinfolk still sleep. It's like we're stuck in the nosebleed.
I said I do this for the block, I do it for the streets. I'm rounding up my dogs, and I ain't talking leash. I'm doing this for y'all, I'm trying to wake my people. I'm giving you my all, hope you give it back to me. I said I do this for the block, I do it for the streets. The ones who doing the bid, I ain't talking auction lease. Never been a farmer, but I'm trying to sow some seeds. Praying they take root, and they don't turn into weeds. Hollering, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm doing this for my dogs, I'm doing it for the streets. The ones that's doing the bid, when time without the lease.
Look, we got 2020, but we can't see. Education, PhD, witchcraft, sodomy, pedophilia, pharmacy, ecstasy, alcohol, and weed. A genius cup, the serpent seed. Face on my people like hot grease. Desensitized, we can't feel a thing. And it all started from birth. We can concede our worth. They took our identity first. Their name was educators, taught us by words and segregators. Placed in confinement to dissipate us. Look at my people, we bottle scrapers. Hated and loved by every nation. Facts. Cause everybody really wanna be a nigga, but they don't really wanna be a nigga. Go through the trials, the struggles, the wilds, the ups and the downs, the in and the outs, the poverty. We can't even fit in the crowd. No, we can't even fit in the crowd. They pointing us out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, it'll be dope to love. Make your body a 10 pound cinnamon club, yeah. Ooh, it'll be dope to love. Make your body a 10 pound cinnamon club, yeah. Ooh.
It'll be dope to love and do away with the devil. The Holy Bible spoke God. True. If you can only get a dose of love that granny drug does. Dope for a parent to never walk out of their child's life. This love is real. It's more than knowing that you're an Israelite. It'll be dope to leave a door unlocked, not worry about home invader gym. Don't just live a prostitute if you ain't teach your son to pimp. Pimp passes more. Drug dealer than a deep boy. Christian dope with a lot of cut. Decoy, like knowledge, deep story. How your daddy make you a crack baby, you sold drugs to your mama boy. You falsifying self-love with abusing your red. Don't love yourself, then you can't love nobody else did.
Ooh, make your body a 10 pound cinnamon club, yeah. Ooh, it'll be dope to love. Make your body a 10 pound cinnamon club, yeah. Ooh, It will be dope if we let go of jealousy. It will be dope if we let go of envy. It will be dope if we let go of coveting. It will be dope if we let go of hard deceit. It will be dope if we show love to the poor. It will be dope if we lived on one accord. It will be dope if my people kept commandments. It's always dope cause the Most High's in control. It will be dope when he sends us back. It would be dope if you could just believe. It would be dope if you just could see. Yeshua with the angels be that justice league. Ooh, make your body a temper. Sit in the club, yeah. Ooh, it'll be dope to love. Make your body a temper. Sit in the club, yeah.
It'll be dope, it'll be dope, it'll be dope, it'll be soda, it'll be dope, it'll be dope, it'll be dope to love. Spiritual surgery instead of plastic, gotta keep this love fresh as it. Some ranch rapid, bagging strips as it moving from state to state. Let's get it to blind saint with the rock of salvation, get paid in heaven. Where the daughters of Zion, they won't set it body for $40,000 tour. Everybody at the club, huh? It be dope not to participate in the genocide of your race. Can help to shake that weight, refuse to lead like I don't regret.
Ooh, make your body a temper. Sit in the club, yeah. Ooh, it'll be dope to love. Make your body a temper. Sit in the club, yeah. Ooh.
Check this out right here, right? Hey, Truth Music Radio is the #1 hottest source of truth music. Come see what all the fuss is about. Every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got Zebediah Boaz bringing you Evening Meditative. Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, DJ Taz 504 of the Zion Speaks Mix Show will be on the ones and twos. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got Moshe Ben Yehuda who will bring you truth, scripts, and world events. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, our sister Ray Chantel will be bringing you Sister Talk. Every Friday, tap in to Truth, Love, and Redemption with Dimitri Miller, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And don't forget about me, your op, Brandon Lewis, every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we will search the scriptures for ways to apply them to life with the Script Talk Podcast. All on Truth Music Radio. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. Powered by The Most High, J Shields Promotions, and Yasharala Nation. Zion, spread the message. Download the app for free on all Apple devices and Android. Shalom.
was in the blood, yes, it's still enough. You haven't done too much. You're still in reach of his touch. Oh, for love was in the blood. Yes, it covers and it floods all of your mistakes. What amazing grace! For it renews and redeems broken pieces. Yes, everything. All is not lost. He paid the cost. His blood for our souls. Now we are whole. Oh, love was in the flow. Yeah. It washes white as snow. Yes, it does. The blood that found me. The blood that set me free. I'm free. I'm free. His blood renews and redeems broken pieces. Everything, all is not lost. He paid the cost. His blood for our souls. Now we are home. Oh, precious is that flow that makes me white as snow. No fount I know, nothing but the blood. Love was in the blood, nothing but the blood of Jesus. It restores me, it redeems me, it revives me. The blood, it sustains me, it heals me, it lifts me. The blood, it restores me, it redeems me, it revives me. The blood, it sustains me, it heals me, it lifts me. Oh, the blood, it still restores me, it redeems me, it revives me. Oh, love of blood, it sustains me. Oh, it heals me. It lifts me. Oh, the blood, it restores me. Oh, the blood, oh, the blood, the blood. It still saves, it still heals, it still restores. Oh, never, never lose its power.
All right, all right. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. It's Yak B. Lou. This is the Script Talk Podcast. Shalom, shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? All honor and esteem to the Most High. Toda Rabbah to him and all that he does for the barakahs and the curses, or the blessings and the curses, the gifts and the punishments. It's mighty and awesome. Hold on. As always, we with the technical difficulties over here. My camera's not acting right. I hope that everybody could hear me out there in radio land. Shout out to Truth Music Radio. That's music with the Z, because the Z is for Zion. Shout out to everybody over there and the staff. Moshe Ben Yehuda, his household. J. Shields and his household. Shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to all the listeners. Apparently, Truth Music Radio is worldwide. So shout out to all the people in other countries over there listening in. I pray you be edified. As you know, this is a Script Talk podcast where we search the scriptures looking for ways to apply them to life that we might become perfect. Shout out to Cindy Smith joining us. Glad she's here. I hope all is well with her. Um, just in general, man, shout out to everybody listening now or later. A lot of people listen to the podcast later. So shout out to them. Uh, Today we're going to be reading the book of Maccabees, the first book of Maccabees. As you know, there are 4. We are going to read book 1, chapters 1 through 3, if time permits and the Most High Yah allows. So let's get right on into it. Let's get right on into it. Those of you joining me on Facebook, YouTube, about to pull it up on the screen for you. Shout out to everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button. You know, it don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Don't rob your brother of his likes and his subscription. All right, all right. My camera is moving the slowest of the slow. I don't know what is going on, but it's going. Give me 1 second. I have to take this back to this. Okay, okay. All right, all right. First book of Maccabees, chapter 1, and it says, after Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came from the land of Kittim, had defeated King Darius of the Persians and the Medes. We read in the book of Daniel. Daniel was in the kingdom of the Persians and the Medes, right? Nebuchadnezzar and them. No. I'm tripping. That's the Babylonians. We talking about Darius and King Cyrus. Hold on, maybe it wasn't Daniel. Maybe I'm thinking of Nehemiah. Man, one of them prophets. was in the Persians and the Medes. If I'm not mistaken, Queen, that's who it was. Esther. Esther was in there with them Persians and the Medes. Anyway, that's how they got beat. They got beat by Alexander the Great. A lot of people don't know this, but here it is right here in the scriptures. Had defeated King Darius of the Persians and the Medes. He succeeded him as king. He had previously become king of Greece. He fought many battles and conquered strongholds. And I hope y'all can hear me, man. If I cannot be heard on the radio, somebody hit my phone, please. Let me know what's going on. He fought many battles, conquered strongholds, and put to death. Let me. I mean, this thing ain't never moved so slow before. I can't even read what it say because it won't scroll. Sorry, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. Hasatan is working, children. This is crazy. All right, all right, all right. Come on, come on. May Hasatan be bound and his devices be destroyed. Let this word go forth, this boca. Let things be as they should, as they usually are. So be it. He gathered a very strong army and ruled over countries and princes, and they became tributary to him. After he fell sick and perceived that he was dying, so he summoned his most honored officers who had been brought up with him from youth, who had been brought up with him from youth, and divided his kingdom among them while he was still alive. After that, Alexander reigned 12 years and he died. Then his officers began to rule, each in his own place. They all put on crowns after his death, and so did their descendants after them for many years. And they caused many evils on the earth. From them came forth a sinful root, Antiochus Epiphanes, son of King Antiochus. He had been a hostage in Rome. He had began to reign in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, certain renegades came out from Yasharal or Israel and misled many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the Gentiles around us. For since we separated from them, many disasters have come upon us." This proposal pleased them, and some of the people eagerly went to the king, who authorized them to observe the ordinances of the Gentiles. We got to talk about that for a second. Here we have a ruling class. We have a powerful people. Now, apparently, up until this point, the people had either been left alone for the most part or just put under attacks, right? But then you have these ambitious people, right? Which we still have today. We have people that just have a love of money. They have a love of power. And they don't seek the one who created all, right? They seek the ones who seemingly have the power, or 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 have a portion of power, right? And they go and they compromise themselves because that's what easy easy things do. Easy things cause compromise. You could work and build your way up to $1 million and be free, or you could go and compromise yourself to somebody for $1 million and be a slave. And a lot of people, from laziness or just a deep rooted wickedness, don't desire to build themselves up. They desire to take the easy route. And Hasatan always, the devil, Satan, always requires compromise. He always requires you to be obedient. All deities really require obedience. That's the thing about it. That's why you see worship done to deities. You know why? Because it's mandatory. If you love them, you'll worship them. That's why our power, the creator of the heavens and the earth, have ways in which he would be worshiped. So we are about to read what kind of worship these people had to bring forth to get this power. Continue on. Chapter 1, verse 14 of the book of Maccabees. So they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem according to Gentile custom. For those of you that don't know about what was going on in these gymnasiums, you hear about statues, right? Or see statues. And you hear of something called Greco-Roman wrestling. It's the custom of wrestling passed down from the Greeks and the Romans. That's where Greco-Romans come from. And you see these statues, these men are naked while they wrestling. That's what they was doing. See, the Greco-Roman lifestyle was very homosexual, if not completely gay, very gayish, but in most cases it was completely gay. It was a lot of gay homosexual things going on, pedophilia going on, old men sleeping with young boys. This is the nature and the customs of the people that our people sought to make league with. The same thing we see today. We hear about celebrities. We hear about these powerful people having wicked appetites. But yet our people worship these people, worship these moguls and these CEOs and these companies. The same thing. We think because we're not sitting down to the Senate or it's some kind of governmental stuff that we're not doing that. You are doing that. When you compromise yourself to kiss the tail, the hind parts of somebody, whether it be spiritually, financially, physically, it's going to come with some compromise because oftentimes you probably wouldn't even do that. Right? Not only that, and remove the marks of circumcision and abandon the set apart covenant or the holy covenant. Listen, their deity before these Greeks came, their deity, the Most High, the Creator, said their worship to Him, their reverence to Him would come by them circumcising their children on the 8th day and by them keeping certain rules and commandments. See, the Most High said you can only have but one master. This is what we need to understand. All these other masters, all these other deities, they are of Satan. They are of the adversary. They are to keep you from the pleasure of the Most High and what He said do. So they only come to keep you from doing what He said do. That is in essence Satan. You know what Satan means? It means the adversary, adverse, one that prohibits, one that stands in the way. It might not be the KJV. Hold on. Hold on. Let me change it for my people. It was just made aware to me that I'm not reading from the KJV. I was reading from the NRV or NRSA. So let's get back to the KJV. It should read pretty much the same, but I have found that in some places that the NRSV is a little different, unpleasantly different. That's why I came off of it. When I started doing this podcast, I read exclusively out of the NRSA, and then there was a couple verses missing, and I was like, no, we can't do that. But 14 says in the KJV, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathens, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the Kodesh covenant. You know, shout out to Melchizedek Ministries out of Memphis. There was a brother by the name of, what is the brother's name? I want to say Charles Yah. He did a lesson on this, right? And he said that Hebrews would put would take skin from somewhere else. I want to say they took it off of their, I don't know where. I don't want to lie on them. But they got skin from somewhere else and sold that on their penises to undo the circumcision, man. I mean, this is the manner of compromise that Hasatan desires for him to be. That's like he told Hamashiach in the wilderness. He told him to bow down to him. Think about it. The Most High said he was going to make his enemies his footstool, meaning his foot would be upon the heads and the backs of his enemies. But yet his enemy come and say, I'll give you power if you bow down to me. See, that is the essence of what these people do. What you selling out for, you already promised to have. But they seek to take that from you. Really, they're not taking it from you. You giving it away, and you giving it away at a price. That's what the Most High said about how other prostitutes get money for what they do. You pay your lovers, and that's what you paying them with. You paying them with your worship. You paying them with your compromise. Now, when the kingdom was established, verse 16, before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt that he might have the dominion over two realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem, Yasharal and Jerusalem, with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary. People read Daniel and hear about the abomination of the desolations, hear about a wicked one standing in the sanctuary, and they believe it's going to be some Hasatan incarnate, which very possibly this man was, and they believe it's still to come. What was this? This is a heathen man, probably a homosexual. Like it said, he will not be like those before him and have affections for women. Standing in the middle of the sanctuary. And look at what he does. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels. You know what I'm saying? This came after Daniel. This is after Daniel. The table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. You know what happened? Yasharal ain't had peace really since this. They was already in a bad way, right? But after this, it just got worse and worse and worse. Hamashiach came, they was in bondage. Hamashiach came, the whole priesthood had been mixed in with Edomites. And it only got worse from there. Because them mixtures of Edomites and wicked Levites put Hamashiach to death. At the same time, they doing that, the Romans is fighting different countries. People in Yasharal started bucking against the Romans, which is what made the Romans came and take Jerusalem, because the people was cool being under bondage until certain people said, we ain't doing all that. And then the Romans was like, well, you gonna do it. We gonna come tear them walls down, make you do it. And that's what happened. And everything got burned up. The people got sent to the four corners of the earth. The desolation of Yasharal. 23, and he took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre. So when he got into the sanctuary, he killed a bunch of people. You ain't gonna believe what they was in when they was being killed. And the fact that these people love this temple a whole lot. These people worship the temple. So the fact that it got destroyed, the fact that it got polluted, like it got polluted and robbed, that hurt the ones who were still living. They was in a great tribulation. You ain't gonna believe it. Having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Yasharal, in every place where they were. You ain't gonna believe it. The joy of the bridegroom and the bride ceased in the land. We see that prophecy spoken. so that the princes and the elders mourned, and the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. These are prophecies people said still coming. When in the prophecies it said the land, the land, the land, the land, the land, the land. Yet we here in America and in other countries all over the world thinking this all applies to us. The Most High is punishing the people in the land because they polluted it before he ever decided to bring war against them. They polluted it. So he said, okay, you gonna pollute it? I got something for you. That's what he's always done. Every time we messed up, he raised up people in the flesh to come punish us. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. All these are prophecies. All of these are prophecies in the 66. This is in the Apocrypha, the things taken out of the Bible, right? And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute into the cities of Yehuda, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now you see what happened when you compromise with these people. First of all, you make yourself their property. That's what I've been trying to to bring out about laws and about this system. It's kind of the same thing, not as blatant as building gymnasiums and all this. But when you go and get licenses and stuff, when you go and do this stuff, it's the same thing. You make it league with the Gentiles because people talk about the forefathers and all of that, but they have laid laws that a lot of the stuff these people do, they not really lawful to do. It's only lawful because you agree to it and you know you just agree to it. That's why it's lawful. It's that if you can trick them, you can beat them. And that's the standing, is that ignorance is no excuse. Just because you don't know don't mean it ain't it ain't legal. So that's what they do. That's what Hasatan does. That's why you are supposed to gain knowledge, understanding, and wisdom so that you be not deceived and tricked. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Yehuda, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So I was going somewhere before I said that. You have the people compromised, started taking on these heathen ways. Now here comes the heathen saying, okay, I own you now. Let me get this out this temple. Let me get your shewbread. Let me get your Ark of the Covenant. Let me get all this stuff. You know why? Because you work for me now. Let me get that. So certain people didn't want him to take it, and they started fighting. You know what happened to them? They all died. It said he left a great massacre. So now because these people didn't compromise, he didn't came and collected a debt. It didn't cause people to perish. That's what sin does, causes bloodshed, causes death. And now you think it's over. You be like, man, he didn't destroyed the temple, man. He done killed all the people, the bridegrooms and the bridesmaids and stuff, man. We can't get married. Like we just all sad. Now they come for taxes. It gets worse. And they come in with taxes with soldiers. You ain't got our money, you finna get hurt or killed. You see how Hasatan, he is the epitome of you give an inch, he gonna take a mile. Do you see this? This is the nation of people that are still ruling to this day. And people want to act as if we still waiting on all of this stuff. These people ain't changed their mandate. They still compromising people. They still sending agents among us. They still, causing those among us to serve them. Ain't nothing changed from how these people rule. It said, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credits, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people. See, once a bully got you scared, he gonna keep bullying you. He gonna want more and more. That's what he doing. First he come and he speak peaceable to him. That's what made him go and join the league. Man, hey man, you know them Greeks, man, they ain't that bad, man. They said they'll look out for it. They got us. That's what we do today, man. Hey man, I'm just gonna join the fraternity, because of this. Or I'm just gonna do this because of that, you know. And then these people say, all you work for, we gonna take it from you if you don't do this, if you don't do that. But I don't wanna do. You better do it. Ain't nothing changed about Hasatan. See, it's bigger than the people. People want to say, the Edomite and all this whole stuff, which I don't believe the white man is the Edomite. I believe there is a ruach. There's a spirit in people that is consistent with the same thing we see in other spirits. You see a drug addict, he gonna act a certain way, he gonna talk a certain way, he gonna walk a certain way. You go somewhere else to where this person ain't never seen this other person who's an addict. And he gonna walk it, he'll have the same walk, the same mannerisms. You know why? It ain't the crack that's doing it, it's a spirit that's doing it. Just like with this whole Edomite thing. There is a spirit that caused these people to rule and to reign and to move. How they rule and reign and move. So it ain't Esau that created it. It's Esau who was inhabited by it. And it's Esau who spread it among his people and all those who sought to be like him. That's why y'all hated him, because he didn't have his ruach. Jacob had his ruach. The meek, the humble, willing to please, willing to secure, to protect, to be honorable. See, that's the nature of the Most High. Well, Esau had to rob, to pillage, to get over, to compromise. People don't understand. That's why they don't see. They got eyes, but they don't see. They got ears, but they ain't hearing. Let's get into some music. We are on Truth Music Radio. I got to calm down. And remember where I'm at. Who we got for you here? I was listening to Truth Music Radio and I heard a song I was not familiar with. My Chief Elite Shook Ones.
Cause you snitching to your brothers about the government. You're not snitching to the government about your brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Peep that. That's some game for your ass, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay like that, man. Microphone check.
Sitting in that hoopty smiling. Listening to Sade and Boosie Collins. My uncle did it for the gram, be careful who you following. Mental space in the jam, he couldn't use his talents. Brothers in the big house, feeling truly palace. Doing dirt domestic, streets of gruesome violence. Gotta be the living word, that's my newest challenge. Wear it out the house and I ain't moving pallets. With the fruits of my label, I could juice a gallon. To the ground, swamp for Emmett, I ain't move for Dallas. Pray you never let us down unless you chewing salad. They told us vote or die, just don't abuse the ballot. Trying to knock me off, cause I spoke a better use a mallet. This light of mine, let it shine into a true metallic. Yeshua walked across the border, never grew a callus. As my cup run up over, please excuse the chalice. Gave the shirt off my back, cause I'm Sus the Stylus. Grinding and we might push a T, but we don't do the malice. Picture us rolling, never need to eat a cue to balance. Ain't shit sweet like 16s in these music ballads. Strictly hustle, got it off the must without a scoop of scallops. Garlic and picking out the onion like a group of shallots. Open up the window to my soul so you can view the balance. Believing in the lie don't make the truth invalid. Y'all told us we the best, just your excuse for callous. Scratch records, talk about ass kisses and back catches. Black justice, really no time to get into that lecture. In this walk, ain't no such things as half steppers.
Scared to death, scared to look, they shook. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death, scared to look, they shook. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Born a wild child, I was aroused by the danger. Proud, full of anger. Had life twisted like a child-proof container. Becoming well acquainted in a crowd full of strangers. Slaves from the ship who held it down like an anchor. Balling on the budget, had to round out the hanger. Clearing up the vision, trying to round out remainders. Muzzle flash, take a pick from the round out the chamber. Rumble in the jungle, pound for pound with a Frazier. Minor setback. Time around, do it major. Rap about the laws, cause I'm bound to the savior. Not from heaven's door, and I found a new neighbor. Life is a but somehow I forgave her. All praise the Father, stuck around through the labor. Dipped the holy water and ain't drowned out the flavor. Against all lies, put me down for the wager. Real script you can relate to. Just another reason for fake people to hate you. It's my breakthrough. People look up to me like I'm 8'2".
Keep them show crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to.
Yeah.
Scared to death, scared to look, they shook. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Next up is my sister Nakaya Brown, Holy Spirit, or Ruach Hakadesh.
Kadosh Ruach, fall on me, send down Haruach, set me free. Kadosh Ruach, fall on me, send down Haruach, set me free. I've waited so long to feel you, searching and praying for truth, doubting the power you promised me, was afraid to lift my hands to you. Lost and confused on my way down, and that's when you opened my eye. You touched my heart, now I'm brand new. Then you changed my name, gave me life. Kadosh Ruach, fall on me, send down Haruach, set me free. Kadosh Ruach, fall on me, send down Haruach, set me free. Yes, to speak with the tongue of creation, teach me to love like you do, yeah, yes. I'm tired of being the way I am. On my knees, I'm crying to you. Take my heart and erase my pain. Yahshua, revive me again. From now on, I won't be ashamed. No, no, you are worthy, Yahweh, to be praised. Kadosh Ruach, fall on Send down Haruah, hey, set me free, yes, Holy Spirit, fall on me, send down your spirit, set me free, yes, Yah, we need you, Yah, we need you, I do, Yah, we need you, Yah, we need you, Yah, we love you, Yah, I love you, yes, Yah, I love you, Yah, I love you, and I will praise you, I will praise you, I will praise you, I will praise you, Kadosh Ruach, fall on me, send down Haruah, and set me free.
Shout out to my sis. That was one of my joints. That's my wife say. That's my joint. Uh, let's get on back into this thing. One second, y'all. I got some things going on here. So as we see, man, it really ain't no future in selling out. You know, as they say in the streets, ain't no future in your fronting. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no future in your fronting. So we really got to realize that and stop thinking that we could do wicked for a little while and that things are going to work out for us. Really not. Really not. Uh, we shouldn't hope for it to be so, because it's not. That's what really got me to being serious about this walk and like being righteous, because I realized it wasn't no future in being wicked. I realized that what happened in my case, right? Because I ended up going to prison and everything, but it happened in such a way, all the circumstances happened in such a way that it kind of spoke to me as a thing of you just need to just leave it alone, right? Situation was the situation ain't have nothing to do with me. The people ain't even know me. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it depends on how you look at it. Now I kind of feel like it was the right place at the right time. Like I needed to go through what I went through in order to be who I am today. And it's certain things I could be like, well, I could have did this better, I could have did that better, and this, that, and the third. But that's the same mindset the gambler has when he done brought so much money to the table, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he done lost it all. And in his mind, he said, but if I just go and get this money from over here, I come back, I get it all back. And that generally never happens. It does happen sometimes, but for the most part, it don't happen like that. And people do that. They'll go and borrow here, borrow there, sell this, pawn this, in order to try to do something that has already been shown to them. You can't win. And then what the song said, you can't win. You can't win. You can't. Not at wickedness, brethren. So I decided, let me try righteousness. I done tried the wickedness, and really, I could never even be full hearted into the wickedness. That's probably why I didn't do good at it, because it wouldn't really, the people that really do good is the people that really don't have any regard for anything, and their whole mindset is to get over every minute of every day, and that's usually how they come up, because they working diligently at it. They diligent with their hand. The Bible tells us, you see a man diligent with his hands, surely he will serve before kings. And that's what a lot of the people that do well in the drug game, or just in general in things of questionable activity, is that they all in with it. They all in with it every moment, every day. So with these scriptures, with the lifestyle of righteousness, we need to be likewise uh initiated. But we got to talk about that later. I just thought about something. But don't worry about it. Let's get back into this thing. Let's get back on in. We in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 31. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and the walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive, and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. People don't want to talk about this. Nobody told us that the Greeks built up the city of David with strong walls and mighty towers, and made a stronghold for themselves, and put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there. And so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Yasharal. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it. See, that's what I said about, this wicked one entering into the sanctuary, man. They This ain't taught in your churches. This is why you don't know. But yet Christianity came with this end time doctrine. They taught us how we ought to see what's going to happen in the end days. You know, but really what's supposed to be happening in the end days, the main storyline is the people returning back to the ways, the people becoming a people again. You know, um, because wickedness is growing and the world is getting more and more wicked. And the people who had been the ones getting more and more wicked are supposed to be the ones getting more and more righteous. But it's only going to be a remnant of them that do that. It's going to be people that fall away, as we see. Many of us know people that are falling away, people who are not all in, as I just talked about earlier. They got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They are lukewarm. And that's why they just waiting to fall away. I'm going to tell you something. Anybody out there that's not zealous for this thing, man. Unless the Most High Yah is maturing you to a point that you'll be more than what you are, you just waiting to go off. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You know, you slacking, you ain't really serious, you compromising here, compromising there, and all this whole stuff, man. You just waiting to be full-fledged back into the world. Because this is the time of the rebuilding. And you can't keep laying the same foundation over again. At some point, the foundation got to be done. Then you got to start putting walls up. Then you got to start with your electricity, and start with your plumbing, and start with your, with your drywall, your sheetrock, and all that. And then you put your carpet. You got to get everything down. You still trying to figure out the foundation. So if it's a certain level you have to grow to, why you ain't even, your bud ain't even sprouted yet. You got a long way to go. You trying to get fruit. You ain't even got, your seed ain't even fermented. And you talking about fruit. You got a long, long way to go. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. People don't talk about that. We know this happened to Northern Kingdom. We know this happened to Northern Kingdom. We don't talk about this as far as happening with Southern Kingdom. This is Jerusalem. This is the heart of Southern Kingdom. We talking about the people of the land got cast out. Now we know this happened a little bit with the Chaldeans. We know the Chaldeans took a lot of Israelites out of the land. A lot of Israelites fled the land, just like right here. And so much as the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, right? In Jeremiah's time, they fled from the Chaldeans or the Babylonians and went to Egypt. It's probably the same place these people fled, because we always went to Egypt when it got hot. I don't know what it was. When it got hot, we went to Egypt. So, but it's replaced with these new people. Why people don't talk about this? I've read the Maccabees and I forgot that this was in here. So I'm learning today as well. Told I, yeah. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her esteem, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into more. This is what the Most High said he was gonna do, man. And he is just to fulfill his word. And y'all said the man ain't did it. That's the crazy part. Oh, he ain't did. He gonna do it though, and when he do it, it's gonna be rough. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Christianity. Christianity is on the way. And everyone should leave his laws. That's what Christianity did. Left them laws. Leave them things behind. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. That's why you got Easter. That was a pagan worship of another kind that was brought in and implemented. You ain't gonna believe who started Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church. the Roman Catholic. What kind of Catholic? The Roman? Who took over the Greeks? The Romans? I'm just saying. This stuff be right in front of us, and we just be acting like we don't even see it. We don't see it. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profane the Sabbath. What? For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. So you ain't gonna believe how long they stopped the offerings in the temple. 3.5 years. Josephus talks about this in another book. I don't think it says it here, but you see how they're halting sacrifices in the temple? He did it for 3.5 years. That's what people say. That's gonna be 3.5 for good, 3.5 for bad. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and the feast days, and pollute the sanctuary of the Kodash people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. This is what they say the man gonna do when he come into power. Oh, it's gonna be illegal to be a Christian. It's gonna be illegal to be a Hebrew. They already did this stuff. The Romans did it too. In the Constantine Creed. In the Papal Bulls. This been going on. It's finally gonna happen. It's finally gonna get bad out here. We coming into a time now where hardly anybody keeps the feast. Hardly anybody observes the Shabbat. So now we coming back to be the ones that do observe the Shabbat and pray to the Most High to bring us back to the place where He told us to keep the feast. Because these people in the land not keeping the feast, that was their sin. Because that's what they were supposed to have done it. But you see how you don't. A lot of the things you hear in Daniel and in Revelation, and the prophecies in Jeremiah, and the prophecies in Ezekiel, you see how a lot of this stuff happened in this. A lot of it happened with the Romans. A lot of it happened in the slave trade. And here we are, because Christianity told us who these people are don't matter. It's just now about your heart and your ruach, which to a large degree that does have a lot to do with it too. But if the whole book is contextual about a group of people, shouldn't the group of people be the ones that everything is about? These people are kings of taking somebody's identity. That's what they do. So the Christians, likewise, you ain't gonna believe it. They was created by these people. So guess what Christians gonna do? They gonna come in and they gonna take your identity, and they gonna take your prophecies, and they gonna tell you what to think about them, what to think about your identity. Oh, your identity don't mean nothing, man. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Now, I will be the first to tell you, knowing you're an Israelite really don't mean a whole lot, because being an Israelite is is a thing of the ruach and the spirit, right? Because you have to be. All Hebrew words mean something. And if you don't fulfill the meaning of the word, you're not that. You're not that. Israelite or Israel means upright, right? And also power with God and power with men. If you don't have that, then you're not Israel. And it's a reason. See, the bloodline is supposed to make you more able to fulfill these things. And it's supposed to be a thing passed down from father to son, these attributes and these traits, right? And it was supposed to be specific to us that we in turn taught the willing of the other nations. But it's supposed to have originated and been taught by us. It's supposed to be our treasure that we share with others. And it's like a thing of we don't have it anymore. That's why we have the Ruach HaKodesh now. That Ruach to come and to help us to get to something that we hadn't been taught, to know what we hadn't been taught. Right? That's what it's all about. So 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Do you see how that slight little compromise, man? We just want to go and make league with the Gentiles, man. They cool. Look at all this stuff that didn't happen after that. They should have said, we need to be somewhere preparing ourselves to deal with these people when they come against us instead of going kissing on their hind parts. So right now, we got our own laws. We can keep the feast, circumcise our children. Why is he telling them to stop if they couldn't do it before, or if they wasn't doing it before? Because they was doing it before, until they slowly started compromising and compromising. Oh, we gonna build a gymnasium. And they're like, well, you're gonna build a gymnasium, you're gonna have to uncircumcise your flesh. And if we cool, I should be able to go into this temple and take all your golds and your treasures and stuff out of there. And then he done got him to the point to where he done killed all the fighting men. He didn't pretty much subdued them to the point to where it ain't really nothing they could do but to do what he said. Guess what he said? Now you can't do nothing. First, I wanted you to just uncircumcise your flesh. Now I want you to not do nothing. You can't do Shabbats. You can't do feast days. You can't do nothing righteous. Matter of fact, I want you to do some of this wicked stuff we got going on. Now I want you sleeping with kids. Now I want you sleeping with your parents. These people ain't got no plexus. You think all of that was off the table? He said to make their souls abominable with all manner, some manner, all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Profane, to make unclean. What did the laws consist of? Don't sleep with your mama. Don't sleep with your daddy. So if I want you to go against your law to the highest degree, what I'm gonna make you do? You gonna sleep with your mom. You gonna sleep with your daddy. You gonna sleep with this animal. Everything the law said not to do, you finna do. You know why? Because I'm Hasatan. That's what I do. It ain't the people. It's the spirit in the people. That's what happened when you compromise. That's why you don't do it. Because you think it's only going to be for a short time. Hasatan don't work like that. He's absolute. He wants it all. Hamashiach told Peter, he said, Satan desires to have you, to sift you as wheat. That ain't no one shake. There ain't no one little shake to get the wheat. And you got to work with that thing. You got to work it and work it and work it and work it. And then if you should happen to leave some wheat on the little thing, you go and pick it off. That's how Hasatan works. He want it all. And he intends to have it. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. This is what they said the man is going to do when he comes. He going to kill us if we don't. He going to cut our heads off. He ain't got to cut your head off now. Niggas is compromising anyway. At least back then, we had people who was more inclined to do righteous, more inclined to serve the Most High Yah, even at the risk of their life. Now we got people that are compromised because these people say they're going to fire them. Because they mama said, because they daddy said, they grandmama said. Because they going through a hard time right now. Compromise. You don't need the threat of death. You know what you do need, though? You need the Ruach HaKodesh for you to continue on in righteousness, for you to do what's right when others do what's wrong. That's what you need. That's what a pressure comes from. I think we only gonna do chapter 1 today. Ain't no way we getting all the way to chapter 3. We just gotta close this thing out. Your brother be talking. When I started out, I was only doing 1 chapter. So I mean, I'm gonna change the title up. But yeah. Telling you, man, don't compromise. That's the title of the lesson. That's the lesson. Don't compromise even a little bit, brethren. Let's get a round of applause on that. That's a message. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Yehudah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Do you see this is why I say Jacob's trouble started with the Babylonians. Because with the Babylonians, they lost their king through all the other battles, all the other wars. They always had a king. King Herod was not a king from the line of Daud, but he was a mixture. I don't know if he was a Judite and an Edomite. I want to say he was either a Benjamite and a Levite. And a Edomite, or he was a Levite and an Edomite. But I don't think he was from Judah, and he was appointed. He was appointed by the Romans. That's not how our customs was. Our customs was the king would reign, and then his son, whoever of his sons he chose to reign after him, would reign after him. As we see, that stopped with the Babylonians. And after the Babylonians came the Persians and the Medes. And it's been this whole thing of compromise. With the Babylonians, you had to worship Nebuchadnezzar, right? With the Persians and the Medes, you had to forsake your customs Same thing. What else did the Persians do? And the Medes? Did they have statues and all that? Who was the 3 Hebrew boys with? That was the Persians, wasn't it? No, because Daniel. That was Babylon. Okay. Who was in the Persian cap? Nehemiah? I think Nehemiah, because that was the restoration of the temple after Cyrus. Was Nehemiah. But I can't remember what the Persians had them doing as a transgression. Can't remember what they had them doing. But that's when the people was going off and marrying all these other women and having kids with them, and they had to give them up in the book of Esdras. But anyway, continuing on, uh, we see how our people always, the most of our people was always willing to join these people in wickedness and to be with it, to go along, to get along. And we also see how it was always a remnant of people that would not compromise. These are the people in 53 that drove the Israelite. Well, these are the Israelites who were drove into secret places. You know why they had to be in secret places? Because I'm going to keep the commandments. I'm going to circumcise my child. I'm going to keep the Shabbat day. So I got to go and hide. It was always a remnant of people. A lot of us like to think we that. Truth be told, many of us are the people that's like, well, hey, kind of like wrestling. It ain't that bad, If it's between getting killed, they torturing people. They got torture rags. They pulling your nails out. They cutting your bed. They doing all kind of stuff to you when they kill you. And I just gotta wrestle, and I just gotta uh, you know, not keep the Shabbat and stuff. And hey, God forgive me. You know my heart. Jesus wept. You know, that's how that's how people be. 54. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation. Yeah, I figured that. They set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded altars. Why don't nobody say this, man? Why are we looking for Hasatan to be in the temple, ruling from Jerusalem? These people that gave us a bad bill of goods, man, so that we wouldn't look in these things and see ourselves, because y'all was gonna cause people to start to do all the things which we doing. But a lot of us still have the abomination of Christian doctrine in our temples, that we believe what they said about these end times, about destruction and death. Now, granted, there is destruction and death coming. Please don't be mistaken by what your brother is saying. I'm talking about the destruction and death of them and those that serve them. The righteous is going to be those that withdraw from them. We think that it's going to be this persecution of those who withdraw. Do you know who always gets the persecution? I mean, who always gives the persecution? It's been our own people. Our own people destroy. Our own people bind us and give us over to these people to be killed. They go and tattletale, snitch. Uh, Sarah got her baby circumcised. This dude ain't know nothing about Sarah and her baby. Your own people get mad at you. You know why? Because they baby ain't circumcised. They compromise. Why ain't you compromised too? I'm telling. And that's what they do. Get you and your baby killed. Not killed quickly, tortured. For their own wickedness. Your own people. And that's what'll happen today for those of us. Oh, this thing keeps stopping. That's what will happen today for the not enough space. Wow. That's what will happen for those of us who truly keeps y'all's word and who warn our people. That's why they killed the prophet. The prophets was cool. The prophets didn't have no issue following the Most High's word. You know when the prophets started having issues when y'all said, "Man, listen, I'm gonna get these people. I'm gonna hurt these people. I want you to go warn them and tell them about all the wickedness that they do and that they need to stop." That's when the prophet gets into trouble. You ain't gonna believe who killed them. It was the Edomites, the heathens. Nah, it was their own people that the Most High sent to warn the people to help them that they wouldn't see destruction. That's where the trouble came from. And that's where it'll come from today. It's brothers and sisters out here today telling other brothers and sisters, listen, that what you doing, you shouldn't do. That what you thinking, you shouldn't think. Hey, who you think you is? You. Same thing they told the prophets. Them people went and got Jeremiah and told him, hey, listen, you be talking to the Most High. He be talking back to you. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. And he be talking back to you. Go talk to him and ask him what he want us to do. And whatever he tell you to tell us, we gonna do. So he went. Most High told him. He came back and told him. They said, what? Who sent you, man? You some kind of spy or someone? Ain't nobody told you that. Like, y'all came and got me and told me to go at this. What he said. Oh, he ain't said that. We gonna keep you go back and tell him we gonna keep doing what we doing. What? This the kind of people who we are. And that's basically the same thing, because when these brothers and sisters come and tell you, they're not telling you of their own fruition. They're telling you something from the scriptures that's been revealed to them. Maybe not through a dream, but just through the process of seeing things align. Just like many of us read Deuteronomy 28 for years, and it never made sense that we was the people until the Most High revealed it to us. They were like, whoa, yeah, that's it. Same thing is happening with these scriptures today. People being revealed and saying, man, we shouldn't be doing this. The Most High said to do this, but we doing this. Like, it's right here. Like, you see chapter so-and-so, verse so-and-so, like, it's right here. They like, who sent you? Nobody said, you are enemy. You against us. You trying to rule and reign over us. No, this, like, just drastic and wicked, really. And it ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Verse 55. Let's go back first off. 54. First book of Maccabees is where we at. Now, the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation. That's what we was at, about how this Christian doctrine has us thinking the abomination of desolation hasn't occurred yet, and it's yet to come. That they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Yehuda on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the street. This is the thing, too, we need to understand about prophets and about the people the Most High raise up to save his people, right? We see with all the kings, it's a thing that say all the kings that did wickedly in the sight of the Most High. And it was kings that said did right in the sight of the Most High. All the kings who did right, they went and tore down altars. They went and got the people in order, turned the people from evil ways into righteous ways. That's what the prophets did in scripture. The people was going the wrong way. They tore it down by speaking against it, by condemning it. So now today, we have people that speak against common practices among the people that the people think are right. And the people condemn these people and murder mouth these people and cast them out of assemblies. Like Hamashiach said what happened to the apostles. Cast them out of assemblies and bringing them before magistrates and judgment seats. You ain't gonna believe what happened before they cast them out of assemblies. Some of these places, they having trials and tribunals and stuff before they kick you out. They don't just kick you out. They want to have a trial and talk about it. Say, well, we hereby decree in order you be cast out, not to be in this, not to be in that. You can't come to the feast day. You can't come to this. You can't come to that. Nobody should speak to or have any communications with. You be cut off. All I said, just like Jeremiah, all I did was tell you what he told me to tell you. He like, man, listen, ain't nobody trying to hear all that old extra. Speak not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things. That's how we be, still to this day. They want to hear about the Ruach HaKodesh. They don't want to hear about the stuff we doing that's wrong. See, the Ruach HaKodesh is right, and it's beautiful. And hey, that is absolutely true. But you know what? It is cut off from you if you don't get these other things in order. Old people don't understand. And the people will tell you, see, it's a pipe dream. The thing about the pipe dream is the dream is beautiful. Hey man, I can have a mansion, I can have cars, I can have this, I can have that. The question is that people don't want to ask, how? How? When people speak about the Ruach HaKodesh, they speak about it like that $1 million house and the fancy cars and the power and the steam and all that. The question is how? See, ain't no shortcut to the Ruach HaKodesh. It ain't no other way but by the door. But there is substitutes. Like Paul said, there is a way that seems right unto a man, but leads unto destruction. And that's what people is getting instead. They're getting high, like I talked about in my other video. They're out here getting high off of songs and off of fellowship. But nobody wants to correct the inner man. Nobody wants to address the fruits of the flesh and exhort and expound upon the fruits of the spirit or of the Ruach. Nobody want to talk about that. We all talk about, Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, that thing don't come where it's filthy at. You got to be clean. It only dwells within a clean temple. That's why the priest had jobs and orders to clean the temple of Yah, Solomon's temple, the inner court, the holiest of holies. They had to keep it clean. Guess what? If it wasn't clean, Yah wouldn't coming. He wouldn't appearing in the midst of it. So you think the Ruach HaKodesh is gonna come within your temple and you dirty? People say, "Well, we ain't perfect. We ain't gonna never be perfect." Well, you ain't gonna never truly have the Ruach HaKodesh in you. And whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. It's crazy. Everything they say about this Antichrist person, everything they say about him, Antiochus Epiphanes is doing it. That's what's crazy. Everything they say about him, he's doing it. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of Yah. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Not only did they kill the women and their children, they killed the people that circumcised the children. Howbeit, many in Yasharal were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. We got to be likewise minded, brethren. We got to be likewise minded. And it ain't only about what you put in your mouth. It's about what you do. Wherefore, the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the Kodesh covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Yasharal. These people gonna condemn a lot of people, brethren. What you won't do because you feel like you can't, or what you won't do because you feel like the beast is too strong, the system is too strong. These people that lost their lives to follow after Yah, they gonna condemn you. Oh, I can't cause. They didn't say that. They said at any cost, even the cost of my life, of a slow, painful, agonizing death. That's, I mean, man, listen. We're supposed to be strengthened by these things. Things written aforetime was written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scripture might have hope. Well, I'm going to go through whatever it is they're going to put me through. You know why? Because I got hope. I'm going to deal with whatever I got to deal with. You know why? Because I got hope. Where I get hope from? Because I read right here, these people, they did it. They went through it. They went through worse. Why can't I go through this? What told I, yeah. Mike, I got the sound effects because I got a sound board, brethren. Got a sound board. Shout out to Mikael Israel. Shout out to everybody that joined me. I went 2 hours off of one chapter. Crazy. But it was a lot of meat on that thing, man. Told out y'all, like, to be honest with you, the crazy part, I had read Maccabees before, the whole book. And I didn't know this stuff. Or I didn't remember that these things were in there, that it literally said the abomination of desolation. And we sit here waiting on it to happen because Daniel said it. You ain't gonna believe that this book came after Daniel. So what was written in Daniel was fulfilled in this. And this is this is what I'm talking about people coming against the accepted practices and the accepted beliefs that are in error, and how you be condemned for this. Like this podcast, not a lot of views, not a lot of likes, not a lot of attention. You know why? Because I talk about stuff like this consistently. This ain't the only time. All the look, this season 2 got about a good we got about a good 80 to 100 episodes of the Script Talk podcast. And this is how it goes the whole way through. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be nothing. Let me be on here doing TikTok dances. You know what I'm saying? Let me be on here just only talking about the sweet, sweet taste of the Most High Yah. You know what we just read? Not his sweet taste, but the wrath he bring for you playing with him. That's the bitter, bitter taste. We don't want to hear that. We don't talk about that to us. Speak not unto us right things. That's how it be, man. You know, or on the flip side, brother, man, you know, you off, you off. Let me go and show you what my elders taught me. And the elders be the same type of people. Be the same type of people. Oftentimes. We ain't gonna say all the time, right? But the same type oftentimes. Which if history proves us right, which we see, many of the things we read in this book, we can see to this day, which means a lot of these things still occur. These elders will be the same people that said, let us go and make league with the Gentiles, that it may be well with us. And you expect this type of person to teach you something that's truly of the Most High Yah. I'm just saying. Anyway, all praise to the Most High. Todah for this lesson. Todah for the insight that he's given. That it should be brought out at such a time as this. Because it's wild out here. Somebody needed to hear it. I don't know who it is or where they at. But all honor seems to the Most High Yah. I'm just his servant. And I prayed to him. I said, cause me to build up what needs to be builded up. And cause me to tear down what needs to be torn down. But this is Yah Brandon Lewis. This has been the Script Talk Podcast. And Abba willing, join me next time as we search the scriptures for ways to become perfect. I'm going to close it out with my Ak Imanan Yasharala. You can find this on YouTube, Elephant in the Room podcast channel. It's called New Creature. Shout out to everybody on Truth Music Radio. That's music with the Z, because the Z is for Zion. Everybody out there on Facebook and YouTube, make sure to download the app. They got 24/7 music play, righteous sounds, and also have podcasts like mine. Shout out to all the other content creators. But until next time, 12 tribes, one nation. Hallelujah.
All praises to the Most High. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, yes, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Okay, I'm riding on a wave, I am on a wave. To my sin I was a slave, and he died to save me. Broke the chains and got away, yeah, I found a way to give him thanks and sing his praise, so I give him praise. Now people looking at me strange, like why you changed it? Open my mouth with a praise, like what can I say? Yeah, I was going through some things, I was feeling pain. Felt like my whole life was flowing down the drain. So Romans 8:28 showed me the purpose. Found purpose, my patience, found the virtue. I repented of my ways, changed my ways. Now everything I do and say is not the same. So what you thinking is okay? No, it don't faze me. I just hope to make the most of my habitation. Keep me in all my ways. I prayed for salvation and he showed me. Brand new, I'm quoting scriptures to get a hold me. Brand new, I'm quoting scriptures to kill the old me. Brand new, I'm quoting scriptures to go ahead and kill the old me. I'm on a roll, yeah, I just let go of the wheel and he took control. Now I'm trying
trying to keep it straight. I can't turn away. I just enter into his gates and I bless his name. What you gonna do upon that day? You can hide your face to the man who you gon' run to. What can you say? He told us not to fall asleep, so I stay awake. I'ma let you know that he come and he on the way. And from the power of the grave, he redeemed my soul. What does it cost me to balance up my weight and go? But when I go, I can't take nothing away. And they hear that they wanna change up the conversation. What you feeling is okay, no, it don't faze me. I'ma link up with the saints and we sing his praises. Got me riding on the wave. Yes, I am so grateful that he chose me. Brand new and quote scripture, the killer owed me. Brand new and quote scripture, the killer owed me. Yes, brand new quote scripture, to go ahead and killer owed me. All for the creation, one mother, two nations, birthrights and blessings, Esau and Jacob, rich, thick hair, brother, grab your heel, birthrights and blessings, it was our God's will. You ain't know that you were special, you ain't know you had a purpose, they been lying to us from the jump, truth lives in the verses, one for the 12 sons, we are going to the people, who was sold into slavery, house of bondage, Egypt, generation population born, multiplying and growing strong, we was building all the major cities, they oppressed and we press on, full slaves put us in the fields, fed babies to the crocodile, Pharaoh's daughter washing in the river, Moses floating up the river Nile, shoes off the burning bush, Moses took a rod in his hand, God rained out 10 plagues, broke the people out the land of Ham, set apart onto the farm, all that opened up the matrix, Lord run you out the house of bondage, you were destined for greatness, yeah. But, okay, brand new, give a scripture to get out. Brand new, quote scripture to go ahead and kill her, hold me.